One man from each team in the ring. Ric Flair and Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater with Dark Journey against Hacksaw Butch Reed and Jake the Snake Roberts. And of course, Reed still wearing that collar around his neck from the pile driver suffered at the hands of these two men. Collar and elbow into a headlock, both men fighting for position. And of course, Flair judo chopping Reed right into that neck area. The powerhouse Reed reversed Ric Flair right into those. Look at that slam. Look at him. You understand now the tremendous reservoir of power the North American champion has in order to get out of these situations. That's why he can be so cocky, so confident. You know, when you've got that ability, that's what weight training has done for athletes. They've got the same athletic ability, but then they got that reserve of tremendous, explosive resistance training power in order to get themselves out of trouble. And when you've got that power, you get pretty confident. Jake the Snake, the master of the DDT, Hacksaw Butch Reed's partner. Of course, Ric Flair has emphatically stated he's done everything to get rid of Reed. Hired bounty hunters, Dick Slater to the tune of $50,000, but they've been unable to do it. And Ric Flair has actually emphatically refused to wrestle Butch Reed again in the Mid-South area for the world's title. He is now refusing to, he said this match, as far as he's concerned, is his last match in Mid-South. He will not wrestle in the Mid-South area again. You know, that really lowers my estimation of Ric Flair. I considered him of the three world's champions, quote, unquote, to be the best athlete. But when he can start dictating where he goes and who he wrestles and the terms of the contract, in my estimation, it has then left the realm of sport and starting to be blackmail. And when the National Wrestling Alliance lets him get away with it, I'm certainly glad that I'm not a member, that I'm an independent promoter, that we don't have to cater to the whims and the ego of these type of people. As you can see right now, Butch Reed takes the best shots Ric Flair's got, and then he decks it. And that's why the champion doesn't want to be here. There's a lot of people that don't want to be in the Mid-South area. They can't stand the competition. I don't care what you say. You go in the arena and you compare it head up, side by side. You look at all the stars and all the publicity from all the different areas. When they come here, they get one thing that is really qualifies you real quick. That's a gut check. That's to see just how tough you are and if you can take the competition day after day, time after time, because the Mid-South fans are the finest wrestling fans in the world today, and they're used to this top competition, and they can spot a guy. They can spot somebody who can't handle it. Right there. You can come in and your reputation will get you right where Ric Flair landed, right on your rump. Jake the Snake standing by out there. Jake the Snake is really an unusual individual in wrestling. 6'5", 6'6", tremendous height and leverage. He doesn't have the big, bulky, resistance-trained muscles of Reed. The smoother type, the endurance type, he has the leverage of his height, a completely different physique. Jake the Snake's not going to meet you head-on in every condition. He's more of a devious thinking individual, a tactician he calls himself, but he has something that he's perfected beyond what anybody else has ever perfected, the DDT, a hold that just takes him home. And if he can get you in it and hit you with it with his height and leverage, it's just over. Just like Ric Flair, he couldn't quite make it out of the ring. And Butch Reed knows it. He's walking tall, and listen to these fans. They love it. Tag is made. He's going for the DDT right now. The champion knew it and sagged to his knees real quick to get down close to that mat where he couldn't get dropped. Ric Flair knew he was in trouble. Jake the Snake cautious. Carl Fricke trying to break these men. It's like trying to separate a couple of porcupines. You got to both be ready and watch each other. Those short little left jabs that just punish a guy, keep him off balance. Jake the Snake's not going to knock anybody out with him, but he can sure harass the hell out of you because he's got such a long arm reach, keeps you off balance. And when you're trying to think about how come that fist is always in my face, he can do other things to you. And you can see that leverage that he has, that height. When he gets that momentum and that whipping action in, it really propels you. And Ric Flair so far has been very, very unceremoniously shown that reputation doesn't mean a lot in the Mid-South area. You got to prove yourself. Reed keeping a wary eye on Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater, and rightfully so, as Jake the Snake pulls Ric Flair back in. Ric Flair retaliates. Even my personal opinion of his politicking doesn't take away the fact that he is the NWA World's Champion, and he didn't get there by not being able to rise to the occasion. Snake reversed a backslide on him. He's going for the pin. Flair's shoulders are down, but he barely got out, and he tags out. And Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater enters the ring. While we have this pause in the action, we'll pause also for this commercial requirement. We will keep the cameras rolling because it's a stalemate right now. We'll be right back with the action after these words from our sponsor. She really insults the guy when she gets over. She's looking at her, talking to him, slandering him, I'm sure, slapping him, roughing him up. And Butch Reed, wow. Butch Reed is not going to put up with that. And this crowd wants Dark Journey to get what's coming to her. And Reed's going after her. Slater naturally coming down trying to save his lady. And Butch, in the condition he's in, Slater was able to rake his eyes. At the same time, Ric Flair is over punishing Jake the Snake. This thing has really heated up here. Again, another main event. Main event in any arena. That's what makes Power Pro Wrestling so great, is these tremendous bouts. And we want to thank you fans for joining us and giving us your comments and your loyal viewing. Forearm smashes. Reed's chest is so massive it's hard to penetrate him, but when he's oxygen poor, which he is right now, they can have a tremendous effect. Jake the Snake intently looking on. Dick Slater, that's an illegal maneuver. You cannot bring a man outside the ring inside in that maneuver. Carl Fergie should not be counting there. He should have broke, because the man has to be in the ring and be on his feet and able to defend himself before the match goes on. Their tag is made. Slater raking Reed's eyes across those ring ropes. Reed's hurting. He's hurting right now. We're going to see, just as this match progresses, you got four of the top guys in the world of wrestling today. We're going to see who's got the most guts, the most determination, the most intestinal fortitude. Who can pull it out? Flair going for the figure four leg lock. He knows Reed's had those knee operations and had Reed's one Achilles tendon, maybe those knees, and he's locked it up, and you can see the agony, the excruciating pain. Hacksaw Butch Reed is in. The crowd exhorts him. They don't want him to give up. He's telling the referee, it hurts, and the referee's asking, you want to give it up? Dark Journey helping Flair put even more pressure on Butch Reed. Slater trying to keep Jake the Snake and the referee occupied so that they can damage Reed's knees even more. I don't think they believe that Reed, I think they feel that he'd have his legs actually twisted off before he would capitulate. But they want to hurt him as bad as they can. I don't think I've ever seen Reed submit. He can be pinned, but I've never seen him submit. Dark Journey is innocence personified. She needs a little good old-fashioned etiquette training, or what you call an attitude adjustment, I think. I don't know who's going to give it to her yet, but I'm sure at some point. He's been locked in a intense struggle with this hold. Both men locked into it. A vicious hold. This is about the only way I've ever known of a man getting out, is to reverse the situation, which reverses the pain. But as he does it, Flair made a legal tag, and Reed trapped there in the hold. Dick Slater came in and quickly drove an elbow to the back of his neck, and now he's going for that pile driver. That could finish Reed. He piled over Reed. I don't think a lot of the fans caught the fact that Flair did make a legal tag. Good tactical move on that team's part. But Butch Reed, somewhere within that reservoir of championship heart and power, he came out of it. He's fighting back. Fighting right up to his feet. He knows he has to go for broke, because if he stays down, they got him in a bad way. Body check. Both men. Listen, look at this crowd. the intensity of these fans as they pull for their favorite. It's what makes us the sport of champions. Jake the Snake even is exhorting Butch Reed. Pull it up. Somewhere within, you've got to reach into that reservoir. Reach into that level. Reach into that pain intensity level and overcome. When your body is saying give it up, when you're out of oxygen, when everything seems to be over, you've still got to pull it up and go on guts and reaction alone. Dick Slater. Dick Slater got leveled. Jake the Snake begging Reed to tag. Said, just get to me. Get to me. I'm fresh, man. Get to me. You got to get out of there. Don't let them hold you up there any longer. And the tag is made. Jake the Snake firing in. This is the beautiful tactical planning of tag team matches, is if you can isolate somebody and work him over and never let him get to his partner. All four of them in now. This is totally out of control. This match between these top 4 wrestlers in the wrestling world today. And they're going tooth and nail. The crowd was exhorting Jake for the DDT. But Slater and Ric Flair have gotten ready to read, and they're both upon Jake the Snake. Carl Fergie is at a loss to be able to maintain order in a situation like this. As they go for Jake the Snake, Reed trips Slater. Reed trips Slater. Jake the Snake, he's caught the world champion to roll it. 1, 2, 3. Ric Flair has defeated Jake the Snake and Hacksaw Butch Reed. Look at this crowd erupt. It's pandemonium. They've won the match. We'll be back. We'll go to the desk right now. Jim Ross, your comments about